One of the unsung triumphs of America is that the vast majority of us don't need to worry about preserving our liberty and freedom on a daily basis, because it was certainly not always like that. The dream that made the ultimate sacrifice worth the risk was that there would be free people who would be able to live a life like this. And for that, they are willing to risk everything in order to create it. How brave and wise these people were that 244 years later, the freest nation that any human has ever seen in the history of the world would still exist. And not only exist, but be triumphant, quite possibly over any other nation to ever exist ever. The reason so many people became so hyper aware of reverence for America in the last 12 months is because they finally understood what it's like to have to oppose something that limits your liberty and freedom. They never saw what that was like. And even though it's only 1% of what it used to be, they understood that taste of what it's like to have to pay attention to what's actually going on in order to preserve your freedom and the freedom of the generations to follow. And as we quickly watched the world that we had always known completely change right in front of our eyes, and the people that are truly in control, the powers that be, the elites, start to move and manipulate it in their likeness, we started to realize why America was founded in the first place, why they wrote the document in this way, and why they were willing to sacrifice anything and everything in a David and Goliath type of situation to preserve it. And as this radical shift happened, people's reverence for America started to skyrocket. They finally understood what it really meant to be either on the team of liberty and freedom, or to be on no team at all. To think you're on a team because you oppose this power, when the reality is that you would be sacrificed just like anyone else. They don't care about freedom. They don't care about people. All they care about is power. When George Washington, the father of our country, was made the president of the United States, he could have been the king of America. He could have led and ruled over America for many, many years. Yet he chose to limit his power. He chose to limit himself to 2 terms. This simple act, like so many others, embodies the spirit of America, which is that it's the power to the people. It's the government's responsibility to uphold the power of the people, because the only way that a nation can be free is for its people to be free, for them to take personal responsibility, for them to have reverence for their country and for their freedom, for them to unify together, with each of them having their own individual power. No centralized, focused force can ever defeat a bunch of free people. They understood that every empire, every centralized, focused body of power would be toppled and defeated eventually. The only one that could persevere until the end of time would be a large group of free individuals acting independently, though also unified, to preserve their individual freedoms. That's the only thing that could last in perpetuity, forever. Everyone being free, everyone being independent, everyone unifying to protect that freedom. That's the only thing that could never be toppled. And it is for these reasons that it is our responsibility to preserve, uphold, have reverence for, and spread the word about why this place is so great. To pass along this reverence, pass along this heroism and bravery. And even though the battle looks different now than it was back then, the battle rages on just the same. For it is in knowledge and understanding of history that we will have a more prosperous future. The more that each of us takes the time to spread the truth, to spread the knowledge, and to encourage people to think differently, to realize what we have, and to learn more about why it's valuable, is the only way that we are certain to preserve it. It is for these reasons that myself and so many countless others have an undying reverence for America. We appreciate and understand what it took to get here and what it will take to preserve it. It's this reason that we talk about America so much. It's for this reason that we step up to the plate to communicate why it's so great. And it's for these reasons that we will continue to try to educate, enlighten, and discuss with people that don't see it that way, so that they too can understand how important this is. The fight never ends. Promise of America, the cause of liberty and freedom, lies within each and every one of us. It is our personal duty and responsibility to carry on its values, to pass it on to future generations, and to be willing to work as hard as is necessary in order to preserve it.